Hey everybody, I am so excited to be with you today. I'm going to share with you in my Classic Happy Planner a lot about stamping. Now before we get started, I'm going to say one thing, which is that I have several other videos that tell you exactly how to stamp, exactly how to clean your stamps, and I will link them up in the comments below. I want to also say that I took some pieces. These are some pieces of Mambi patterned paper. You can see a very subtle pattern on there that I already stamped on and cut out with scissors. This is just plain white cardstock. You can get it at any big box craft store. So you can see I actually have two different colors of ink, and I have three different shapes there. So we have just the plain box, we have the polka dot box, and we have these little frames as well. So I'm going to do a mostly pink layout here for you, combining stamping on the page, these already pre-stamped and cut pieces, and then I may throw a sticker or two in there as well. But I'm mostly talking about stamping and how easy stamping can be. Now the reason that I did these was to show you that you don't have to stamp on your planner pages, okay? So if you're not confident and you're not sure, why not stamp on some patterned paper or some cardstock ahead of time? This way, if you mess something up, you don't have to feel all bad about it because it was in your planner. Because I know a lot of people, even though you can cover it with a sticker, still have some anxiety about that. So why not try stamping on paper first and then cutting it out? A lot of people will say, oh, I love to use label paper. And that's awesome if you enjoy that. I don't actually love that because then you have the pieces where like the cut down the back is not right there and they're hard to peel apart for me. And so I just don't personally love that paper for that reason. But if you're a person who enjoys it, you should absolutely do that. That's fantastic. You can see I pre-planned using these sticky notes, and so I will follow that basic idea throughout the week is what I already have laid out here for you. Now I'm going to use more than likely just this VersaColor Magenta. These are what I specify as my planner inks. However, I do have two other chalk inks that I use as well because I lost the yellow of this VersaColor and I never had like a pale pink. So I pull those from my regular stash, but they're also tiny. Now this is my Happy Planner stamps. I keep them just in this one little basket on my planner cart. And so these are the stamps that I will use. These are the new ones from the Happy Planner Girl. These are the ones from the Be Happy box. And then just the original ones, the two different packages that you could purchase at the craft store. I may also use these sticky notes. I'm not 100%, so I'm not going to commit to it, but I think that this bow could look really cute on this particular pink layout. Okay, so I'll go ahead and I will remove my page just because I like the surface for stamping to be very flat and very smooth. You could probably do it, but I wouldn't recommend it. Not great success there. Now I will remove my sticky notes because that's what I do, and I usually just do it day by day so that I don't get confused, because I'm not going to pretend that I don't get confused because I definitely do. Now I know that I want to put a to-do list down here, so I will go ahead. I'm actually not particularly particular, so there are a few of them here. I think that I will go, you know what, we're going to do pink, so I'm just going to go for the hearts. Why not, right? All right, so now I will pull out my clear block. I'm going to use this one because it matches the shape, or the size, I'm sorry, of this particular stamp. That's one thing to note, is that it's best to use a clear block that is the approximate size of your stamp. Like, you don't want to use an enormous block for a teeny tiny little stamp. You're just not going to get good results, and you might find yourself frustrated. Could you possibly do it? Of course you could, but you also might not, and just setting yourself up for success. Am I right? Now I'm just simply rubbing this on the back of my hand. The oils in my skin help prime these stamps, and being acrylic stamps, they need that. It's not a negative thing necessarily. They just need a little priming to get a better impression. And so again, you'll hear people talk about, oh, I like to do this, I like to do that. I simply like to rub it on the back of my hand. It's the easiest and most foolproof way to do it, and For me, it works great and I highly recommend it. Even firm pressure throughout the stamp, voila. So now again, slight variations don't bother me particularly, although I can tell you what causes them. Pushing too hard, so like right up here you see some squish. It's just from pushing too hard, and because I'm doing this live time, I'm a little bit nervous, and so you get a little bit of that. Now I will go ahead and take, so for example here, I'm going to use, I think down here I'll use one of these just because it's cute, like it's adorable and it will show up well. I use a Tombow mono adhesive tape runner. It's just what I like. I like the stickiness of it, and it's really important to just find something that works well for you and that you enjoy, because then you'll want to do it as opposed to being frustrated with your supplies. So I'm just going to go ahead and write my son's doctor's appointment on this tag, and that way I can A, have this finished, B, I can then toss out that sticky note. And then I will also up here, now I know that there is a doctor's appointment stamp right there. It's super cute. I always really like these, although I find myself not using them as often. Now, okay, I have this stamp. And so one of the things I will clean them with is baby wipes. Sorry guys, I wasn't prepared to pull out the baby wipes. I just use Huggies. I like Huggies. They are a good wetness and they don't leave lint on the stamps. Other brands do, but again, it's completely personal preference. As long as they're alcohol free, it's really just the ones that you prefer. You may see people recommending certain brands. I don't see that too terribly much. I just like these because, like I said, they don't leave lint on the stamps. I have purchased some that do, and I don't want that. I'm just simply drying off the block because it was wet from the baby wipe. I'm going to place that there. But you know what? Let me show you something else. So this is a perfect example of using a block that's a better size for your stamp. I could go ahead and use this because I am a pretty good stamper, but I will show you exactly that, you know, you should be using one that's much closer to the size of your stamp. So this one's very small, as is my stamp. So I will go ahead and, you know what, I'm going to, well, no, I'll just stick with the bright pink. I should probably branch out and use the lighter pink too, but it's not that important. So now I will go ahead and just simply stamp that there. Voila. See, and it looks, actually it looks really great too. And so the priming of the stamp is very important. It's hard, especially with all of that stamped area in there, to get a good impression without priming the stamp. Okay, I'll go ahead and wipe that one off. Now there's no harm in leaving the ink on the stamps. It simply bothers a lot of people to have them be stained, but it doesn't hurt the stamps or anything like that. I only remove it, truth be told, because I'm a very messy crafter and I know I would end up with the ink that was left over on my fingers, and then I would somehow get that on my papers as well. And so I don't want that, obviously. So now I will go ahead and remove this sticky note, and then I'm going to take this light pink one. No, I'm going to use this light pink one. I will adhere it down. I'm going to remove this. Now, I wouldn't ordinarily do that yet. However, because I kind of want to overlap where that one is, I'm going to, because I don't want to mess that up. All right. Now I think what I'm going to do with this one, because I actually think that's cute just like that, but since there's some open space, I'm going to go ahead and pull out, I have a couple of sticker books that have some stickers there that I think would work. I'm not sure which one I want to use. Now remember, I'm using a pink color palette this week. So let's see what we have here. No, Now sometimes it's simply just finding what works too, like, oh yeah, where can we find, I like this Go Team, that kind of works. Yeah, let's do that. It's a little bit different, right? Okay, so I'm going to pull that out and I'm going to stick that right there. Awesome, right? Okay, so now again, because I'm going with the pink color palette, I'm going to stick with this checklist for my things to do. Despite the fact that there are other stamps I could use, I'm going to just use this one. Actually, you know what? I've totally changed my mind. I'm gonna peel this one off and I'm going to use the little clipboard. It's adorable, and why not? Okay, so I'm going to prime it on the back of my hand, and then I'm going to ink it up. Now, sometimes people ask about the different sizes of ink pads. It's simply just that, different sizes. They're the exact same formulation. They're the exact same types of inks. I like the smaller ones because, quite frankly, I don't use them very often. So you can get these for $2 or something on Joann.com when they're on sale, or at least you used to be able to. I've had these for several years, so I'm not really purchasing them. So see, look, this is the perfect example. Do you see how I didn't get the pressure right there on that one stamp? And it happens to lots of people because I was too busy talking to you and not thinking about my stamping. Now I'm going to see if I can go ahead and match this back up. I should be able to. I did not put any more ink, and it's probably not perfect. Nope, see, it's not perfect. I don't know if you can see that or not. But again, if you could line it up perfectly, it'd be A-okay. Right? But again, that doesn't actually bother me. It's not very noticeable at all. So I'm personally okay with this, but you have to do something that you're okay with. Now, say you're not okay with it. What can we do then? All right, so you might decide, well, let's get a checklist, shall we? Now, let's be clear. I'm doing this because I want to help you. Not because I care, because I really don't care. So I found these sticky notes. These are from the Miss Maker sticky notes. And oh my gosh, just adorable. The little tag, because I love the tags in this collection. The little cart, how cute. But these are bright pink, and it says make and do at the top. And that works great for me. So I'm going to take the back side of this, add my adhesive. Now I could have very, very, very easily, okay, here's something else I'm going to do. I'm going to peel this edge back up because I want to overlap this a little tiny bit. And actually it didn't end up overlapping. It's just very close together. Now I'm leaving that like that. And the reason that I left this in this video as opposed to editing it out or starting over is that I want you to see that people make mistakes. So you see my spread in the end and you think, oh my gosh, I can't stamp. I'm not good at stamping. Why not? Why can't you stamp? You can try, can't you? Okay, so anyway, now we're gonna move on to Wednesday. And now I'm actually really excited that I added this sticky note down here because now I can do something different over here as opposed to, I thought I was going to have two of a very similar stamp right there. So let's go ahead. I would actually retry this to show you how to now sort of navigate that successfully, but I don't want to do that because I have a full box right there. I hope that makes sense. I don't want the two full boxes next to each other. I prefer the variety myself. So I will go back to my hearts, drying the block. Go back to my hearts, prime them up. All of this is just about what you can accept, okay? I'm not a perfectionist and things not being perfect don't bother me at all. So as long as I can, it doesn't bug me. See now I had, oh, there we go, okay. As long as it doesn't bother me, I'm okay with it, even if it's not perfect. There. So So now I've got my cute little checklist. And the great thing about stamps is that so when you pay for the stamps, say they were $8 at Hobby Lobby or Michael's or wherever, you then never have to rebuy anything. And these ink pads will last for years. So they're really very cost effective. Even once you've practiced, like, you know, okay, I've done it 16 times on paper. I'm finally confident to move it over into my planner. Now again, we have a game day over here. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take this little frame because again, it's super adorable, and I'm going to overlap it here because I have some room to do that because this portion of the Tuesday game is not, doesn't have information on it. So I'm just gonna stick that down and then I'm gonna write the stuff that I need to write. Okay, so there you go for the Wednesday. Now you can see there's still plenty of white space here. So should I need to add something, you know, up here, there's room. Should I need to add something, there's room. Now I certainly will probably add a little bit of decor, maybe some washi tape or something like that, but it's not necessary because my plans are the focal point. All right, so now we will move on to the second half of the week, and I'm going to pull out that part. Now, if you'll see, again, we have, I'm going to take this one off because I actually don't need it. So my to-do lists were in the bottom down here, so I'm going to move it back up to the middle because that's what I personally like to do. It's not, I'm not telling you it's better or worse or anything like that. It's just what I like to do. Now I'm going to pull out my stickers for this one just because I can. Let's see what we've got in here. All right, so there's probably, let's see. I don't really see anything in here that I probably want to use, so I'll go ahead and pack that one back up. But then I'm pretty sure that maybe I will find something in, let's say, Socialite. Since I know there's a lot of pink in there, I'm going to go for that one first. And actually, I just got a great idea by looking at that in the Socialite. Remember, I am looking for, oh, I think I found it right here. So I'm going to go ahead and pull this pink and white sticker out. Again, just because I want to. There's obviously no reason I could stamp everything. But really what I wanted to show you, aside from stamping and that not everybody is a perfect stamper, is that you can combine stickers and stamps. Now again, we're going to go ahead. I have not used one of these polka dotted ones, so I'm going to use one of those. And because I have this lighter pink one here, I'm going to use this polka dotty one here because, well, I like to change it up and I like my planner to be a little bit more random. So I'm going to do what I like in my planner. I'm going to stick that right there, make sure it's nice and stuck down, and then I will go ahead and add all of the details to the activity. So now I've got my to-do and I've got my activity for Thursday. Now I am thinking that maybe it might be fun. I don't know. Maybe I should let well enough alone. Let's check and see what we've got. Sometimes these little packages get stuck to my desk. Let's see. Just if there's something I want to add here. I always really like this Today stamp. It's pretty cute. Let's go ahead and add it. But you know what, I'm going to make sure there is nothing else in my newer stamp sets that I want to add first. No, probably not. I'm probably pretty good. So we're going to use the Today. So that can be one of the problems, is that when you accumulate so many, it's very, very hard to choose what direction to go. So now again, my smaller stamp block, and I'm going to just stick that right on there. I'm going to prime it on the back of my hand, and this is where I'm going to pull out that other ink pad that I mentioned at the beginning. This is just a Prima chalk ink. I will link you up in the notes. Again, super inexpensive. It's chalk. It's actually pigment, but the finish is, they call it chalk because it's got kind of a milky consistency. So I've added that ink to it. Now the same thing, even firm pressure. You don't want to press too hard because it ends up looking like a mess. Now this stamp, I typically do have a little bit of problem in the middle, and that's because I forget. So I'm going to pull it back down here and I'm going to try it again. And we'll see if it works or if it doesn't work. And sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. It's fine for me. So I'm going to leave that right there. Now, I'm not going to lie, sometimes there is some difficulty with the acrylic stamps. They are definitely significantly harder to use than a photopolymer. So if you buy from like an independent stamp shop, they're usually a photopolymer, and those are a lot easier to use. But there are so many cute designs in the acrylic, so it can definitely be a struggle to know which one to use. Am I right? Okay, so let's go back and use the heart checklist again. And I'm going to use that pink chalk ink once more because I really do like this color. It's so pretty. And I want to pull a little bit more of it into this particular layout. So I'm going to have this, well, no, I think I'm going to go down to the bottom right here. Just sort of matching it up with my lines, even firm pressure throughout. Boom. I think that turned out great. Now again, I'll just remove the ink, and only because I'm messy. Otherwise, I would just leave it. It doesn't bother me if your stamps have stains on them. To me, that just means you're using them, which is the point of why I purchased them, is to use them. If you're a collector, that's a-okay. All right, so I have one last thing that I want to make a note of. So this isn't so much of a to do or an activity or an event or anything like that, as it is just something that I want to remind myself of. So I think that I would have initially used that sticky note we talked about at the beginning, right there, but it's just a lot bigger than I want for this particular thing. So I'm going to go ahead and just pull out one of these tiny little bullet points, stick it on the back of my block. I already cleaned this one, remember, so I can just pull that off. I'm going to remove this, ink this bad boy up. There we go. So adorable, am I right? Okay, so then I'll write this right here. Okay. So now you can see that I'm very nearly finished, but I do have this like wide open weekend, so maybe I should consider doing something with it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to look through here. I'm not 100% sure there is anything like that, but to see if there is like a weekend banner, or this is pretty cute though, put your heart into it. So that might be cute. It's totally cute for the weekend. Okay, so what I'm going to do actually is I'm going to take out this stamp, this sort of Dalmatian print, pull it off. Now, here's something I'm going to show you too. So this isn't real, it actually fits, so never mind. I was going to get real excited and show you something, but it works just fine, so I'm not going to worry about it. Going to use the light pink ink again, just because I really like it. Okay, so now I can't quite decide. Should I line it up with the boxes? Should I make it? I think I'm going to make it off. Okay, so I'm going to even firm pressure throughout the block, but I don't want to push too hard, otherwise you squish it all out. So cute. Oh, I love it. Okay, so I'm going to wipe the ink off just so I don't make a mess. then I'm going to take that sticker that put your heart into it, which is adorable and really, quite frankly, perfect for the weekend, because let's put our heart in it and put that right there. That is adorable. So now I'm going to finish up by adding a little bit of washi tape. So what I need to do is I need to go through my washi, and immediately the Socialite little scalloped washi is just calling my name because it's so cute. So I'm going to add a little bit right up here at the top. I love it. I'm looking for my X-Acto knife. As we've talked about this before, you don't have to use an X-Acto knife. You should absolutely work for what's comfortable for you. I'm just very comfortable with this X-Acto knife. I've been using it for years, and it's just in my craft space already for other projects and stuff, so it just seems like the right thing for me to use. I'm going to go ahead and put a little bit more down here at the bottom. And look at that, super cute, and still plenty of room should any activities creep up during the week that I need to make note of. And I can also keep track of all my to-do lists and all of those things as well. So thank you so much, guys, for stopping by and watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please leave me a thumbs up. I would appreciate it so much, and make it a great day.